All right, YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, man. And this video is going to be a Portland Trailblazers Nicolas Batum build. This is my version of it, and I was trying to make like a small forward version, which you can ultimately make a small forward version of this build. It'll just be like a little bit different and everything when you make it in a small forward versus the power forward, mainly so the block rating, but you could easily just still make this as a power forward regardless as well, but I really wanted to make this as a power forward just because you get a little bit more when it comes to to like the stats that you're able to get, especially when you are 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. You're able to get more out of it. Plus, look at all these insane finishing stats that you can get. I mean, take a look at that: 99 driving dunk, 99 driving layup, 99 standing, 99 close shot. You still get like an 87 mid range and an 83 3-point rating as well, which is some pretty good stuff. You get like insane defense. I mean, these are just like the max potential though. But let's take a look at the actual build itself just to show you guys. Obviously, we're not going to get the shades of for Nicolas Batum because I changed it quite a bit from the original Pro Tuned version that they have. I used the Pro Tune as kind of like a little base, and then I worked around it a little bit. So this is what I have came up with for the Nicolas Batum build. And one of the main things that you guys will be able to see is the fact that I gave him a really high block rating, and that also it's like shot erasing is in the name of this build. And that's just because Nicolas Batum was an underrated shot blocker when it comes to like his time in Portland. He was an underrated shot blocker, but also it's like he's one of those guys, like, besides just a shot blocking ability, he's kind of like a more modernized version of somebody like Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc being like a tall player that's mostly used as like a tall three or four in some cases as well, but mostly so as like a tall three to be able to be like one of the better connector guys, a good passer, able to stretch the floor out as well within the half court sets. So a lot of good things as well when it comes to Batum in his early days, especially like even now, still being able to stretch the floor out and be like just really, really good with his pass IQ and all that stuff. But he's not obviously as great of a shot blocker now as he was back in the day, back in Portland. So obviously I wanted to make a Portland version of him with the high shot blocking as well. So that's what we got. So we have an 84 close shot though. We have an 80 driving layup, 75 driving dunk with a 72 standing dunk, 67 post control. As you can see, we just kind of just slowly drop, our ratings down as we go down. Not for any particular reason other than the fact that, yeah, just give him some layup, give him a little bit of a dunk. It's not like he's going to be dunking all the time with this build. And then also, like, same with the standing dunks. You're not really going to be doing standing dunks all the time, but just so you can at least get the standing dunks and some driving dunks if you get those open lanes and those open looks on the inside, by all means. A little bit of post control to utilize against the against like smaller mismatches that you get as well. So that's like the main reason why. But to really like take a look at all the badges here, I mean, float game on silver, hook specialist, paint prodigy on silver. You also get that layup mix master badge on bronze, and you also have that physical finisher on silver. You get bronze posterizer at least, so that's at least pretty good there. You get that silver aerial wizard, bronze rise up as well, and then you also get that bronze post fade, post powerhouse, post up poet, and unpluckable here. So that's pretty much like all that you get from that. And then for shooting though, we do have an 83 mid range, 83 3-point rating. Gives you some room to be able to use like a couple caps to get to like an 85 for that dead eye on silver. And then you guys are able to see you can go to 87, so you can get that shifty shooter on silver as well if you really wanted to. You have a set shot specialist on silver as well, post control on bronze as we already mentioned, but you can ultimately get that upgraded if you use caps on post control. It's whatever, but pretty much as you can see, you're maxed out on your 3-point rating here, being with the 83. So that's the reason why it's at an 83, not any higher. Otherwise, I'd have it significantly higher, at least like the 85 rating, so we can get Deadeye on silver. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. And then we have an 83 3-point rating as well. But we do have that bronze limitless range, so that's pretty good. You can use like a max +1 or a max +2 to get that significantly higher. Up to you guys. Playmaking though, really, really good stats here. 92 pass accuracy. I know that you need a 93 for break starter, but getting that dimer is more important than the break starter, considering that we're not grabbing too many rebounds. That's the main thing, is that we're not grabbing way too many rebounds here. So ultimately, you can use like 3 caps, be able to get to bailout on gold and versatile visionary and Hall of Fame. And then you can easily get like a max +1 on your versatile visionary and a max +2 on your bailout, and then be able to get them both on legend from that point on. So you can easily do that if you really wanted to. I don't think it's necessary, but that's just some ideas that I'm throwing out there for you. Ultimately, you can use some caps and get those 2 upgraded pretty much to gold and Hall of Fame. Ball handling, we dropped the ball handling down significantly from what they had. I think they originally had like an 80 plus, but I dropped it down tremendously so we can utilize a more stats elsewhere, pretty much like the good 3-point rating, making sure that we have our agility up as well. Strength doesn't need to be super high, and we're also not really focused on getting the 73 strength and the 73 ball handling to get strong handle out of the gate. I don't think it's necessary, because he's not really much of a ball handler. Like I said, same thing as like Tony Kukoc. It's like they're not like ball handlers. They're not like amazing playmakers when it comes to ball handling, or like just handling the ball in general. I mean, like Jokic, people can say Jokic is like a perfect example of like a big man that can handle the ball. It's not like he handles the ball with, insane, speeds and combos like what like Kyrie or James Harden or some of those guys do. But obviously he's got the ball handling, for a big man, really, to be able to not get ripped as often and all that stuff. Plus he's got the IQ for it. So, yeah, taller guys, not really meant for handling the ball, but more so just being really insane with their pass accuracy. So there's that. But we still do have handles for days on bronze, strong handle on silver, and we have unpluckable on bronze as well. Speed of ball being a 60, I didn't really want him to have like a super high speed of the ball, considering that he's not going to be fast with the ball. He never truly was that fast with the ball. So I really just said, screw it, bring his speed of ball down all the way. It's not like we're going to focus on dribbling and driving to the basket or anything like that, or even, like shooting fades or anything like that. We are the connector in the half court sets, practically just getting the ball out of our hands to somebody else. But obviously we're able to hit those wide open shots if needed. If we get a wide open look on the inside, pretty much we can score on those as well. But we're mainly focusing on being able to pass the ball, set everybody else up in the half court sets, which would be pretty damn good. And considering that the offensive set that me and my friends all created, at the end of 2K25 leading into 26, I feel like, having a power forward like this, that is really focused on that, and just leaving everybody else that is like able to set screens, like, super big screens, and be able to shoot a lot more than me, would be really nice, considering that I'll have high pass accuracy, high dimer, all that stuff. So that'd be really good. Defense here though, 74 interior, nothing too crazy, but the 74 interior does give you that post lockdown badge on at least bronze. So there's that. Then we also have a 74 perimeter as well, which gives us that bronze challenger, on-ball menace, and pick dodger, just for that as well. We have a movable enforcer on bronze, silver off-ball pest. As you see, we have silver paint patroller for our interior. So our steal rating being a 73, just so we can at least get into those lanes with silver interceptor, be able to get those steals in the passing lanes if needed. And then we have an 88 block rating, pretty much for that high flying denier on gold, because like I said, he was an underrated shot blocker during his time in Portland. I'm trying to show these kids what's really good, show these 2K clowns that, they don't know ball, considering that I know more ball than them, because I actually gave the Portland Trail Blazers Nicolas Batum an 88 block rating. I know ball, they clearly don't. But in general though, really good shot blocker during his time in Portland. So I gave him an 88 block rating, gives you that gold high flying denier, which is really solid. We also have that ability to have paint patroller, and also As you can see, we're not able to get to 91 blocks, so there's really no point in really trying to focus on getting a higher block rating. Just keep at the 88 for that gold high flying denier, and then you don't really have to worry about it, which I feel like is pretty solid. Not able to get to the 92 either for the sake of getting high flying denier on Hall of Fame, but ultimately you can use a +2 if you really wanted to do that. And then for rebounding, we have low rebounding. He's not that much of a rebounder or anything like that, but we did give him a 66 offensive rebound, 75 defensive rebound. So we have at least box out beast on silver and rebound chaser on bronze, with enough room for, you know, exponential growth in the rebounding section if needed. And that's what's going to be really, really good about this particular build here, is that you have like a lot of cap breaker potential on the inside, on the defense, on the playmaking end, as well on the rebounding. You practically have like really good cap break potential everywhere. Obviously, besides shooting, where it's like your 3-pointers maxed out and you really like don't have like a whole lot of caps to really need for shooting. So that's why I mentioned everything else here. It's like your finishing could use some if you really wanted to be able to finish more or have like higher post control or whatever the situation may be there. Playmaking, obviously, you can use some more caps to get higher pass accuracy and all that stuff, higher ball handling, speed with ball, whatever. Defense, obviously getting better interior defense, better perimeter defense as well, better steal rating, all that stuff. You have potential there. And then you also have potential for your rebounding, as I mentioned. And then you also have some potential for, you know, some of your physicals, mostly for your strength. But talking about the physicals, though, let's start at the top with our 80 speed. They originally gave the build an 80 speed, I believe, so I just kept it there. I just feel like that's a pretty good number. And then they didn't have too high of an agility, so I just decided to increase the agility. If I can increase the agility, I decided to increase it. So I was able to increase the agility. I decided to do that, bring it up to an 80. That's pretty good there. We have a 72 strength. I don't feel like he deserves a super, super high amount of strength, considering that, especially during his time at Portland, he was only like weighing at about like 210 pounds. I know that this version is 230, which is his current version of him currently. But obviously, I just still gave him like a lower strength, but that also means that there is still potential to get that strength really, really high up with the cap breakers as well. So there's a lot of potential there. And then vertical being an 80, because obviously need that 80 for high flying denier on gold. And then that just leaves us some potential to be able to get that pogo stick on Hall of Fame if we really wanted to, but I don't really think it's necessary. Just keeping it at the 80 would suffice, considering that we have that high flying denier. We're not able to get it upgraded. Pogo stick, I don't really think it's necessary to upgrade. And, you know, obviously posterizer, all that stuff, we already have them at bronze. I don't really think it's necessary to, you know, upgrade them, because we're practically only going to be able to upgrade them one extra time to silver if we get the cap breakers to do so. But yeah, I feel like I definitely really, really like where this build ended up. I mean, practically we get like almost every single badge in the game besides a lightning launch. Obviously that can easily change whenever you get cap breakers. Same thing with the with ankle assassin. You only need 3 attributes and ball handling, so you can guarantee actually be able to get that. And then the only other badge that we're missing here is mini marksman. So mini marksman is the only badge that we are missing, because we are not 6'3" or shorter, because we are 6'8". So that's the only badge that we cannot get here out of all of these actual badges that we have listed here for tier 1 and tier 2. So that's a lot of good stuff there, man. That's a lot of good stuff, being able to get practically almost every single badge in the game. Practically 37 badges if you want to count them right here out the gate. Obviously 39 when we get ankle assassin and lightning launch as well. But if we go ahead and take a look at the end game screen here, the shot erasing stretch dimer on this scouting report here, and also it says right here that we have shades of AK-47, Evan Mobley, and the 02-03 Kings, Chris Webber, which is kind of shocking to me, but I feel like that's pretty cool. But this shot erasing stretch dimer makes a lot of sense for a Nicolas Batum build. Obviously, I feel like I wish I could make, you know, this particular version in a small forward with the 88 block, but unfortunately cannot do that. So that's the main reason why I just said, fuck it, just make him into power forward. But our go-to badges here is obviously Hall of Fame Dimer, Gold Break Starter, Gold Versatile Visionary, all playmaking badges here because obviously we're going to be a really good passer and a really good connector. And it says our top attributes is obviously pass accuracy with an A minus block, and a B in close shot. And our strengths: unselfish feed game, fuels the offense, elite timing on blocks, knockdown mid-range shooter, hits threes at a high clip, with the weaknesses, if I can even speak, being not a strong screen setter and no presence in the low post. I mean, it does make sense to me, obviously, because we don't have, like super high, post control or anything like that. We don't even have a super high interior defense. So there's that. And then our strength also is not very, very high for us to get anything higher than a bronze on our brick wall. So that's the main reason why for those. But obviously with caps and everything, those could easily change. So let's go ahead. Let's bring this build out for you guys to see the cap breaker potential for the shot erasing stretch dimer Nicolas Batum build. All right, and now that we are here, let's talk about some of these things, man, because literally the great thing about this is that you get some pretty good cap breaker potential here for finishing, ultimately getting like +2s pretty much for your close shot, driving layup, and driving dunk. You get a +5 for standing dunk with a 4-4-3-3. And then for your post control, you get a 7-6-5-4-3. Insane. And then with your mid range, you get a +2 for 1 cap breaker. So if you didn't want to go to an 87 for that shifty shooter on silver, you can easily just use 1 cap breaker here, get to that silver dead eye with the 85 mid range. That'd be pretty solid. Some good potential there. And then I'm shocked that they didn't give me a lot more on cap breakers for defense. So that's a little shocking to me. But then we also make up a little bit for it in the rebounding, where we get, 2s over here for a defensive rebound. And then as you can see, with our physicals, obviously, +1s for agility and speed, but our strength being a +2 right here, and then 1s across the board. So we're not really able to utilize silver brick wall, which is honestly surprising to me that it doesn't give us, a higher cap potential for our strength, considering that we have a low rating for some of these things. And it's kind of funny because I would usually have, if you've seen my James Harden build, I was a guard with a like 65 perimeter defense, and it gave me some insane cap breakers for a perimeter defense. And then also some of my other builds as well gave me insane cap breakers for defense as well. So it's very shocking to me that this particular build has low cap breakers on defense. It's kind of crazy, but it does give me a shit ton of cap breakers potential for obviously speed with ball being a 6, 6, and 5, which is absolutely insane. That is what, a 70, that's a 77 right here potential, because 6, 66, and an 11, that's a 77. So 77 on your speed with ball, you can easily get silver on your lightning launch here. Go from no lightning launch to silver is kind of crazy. And then ball handling, you get a +4, +3, +3, +3, +1. That is kind of insane, because then you get up to what? Because that's 9, obviously that's 81, 85 right here. You get like an 86. You get up to an 86 ball handling, which is insane. And then ultimately just +1s for pass accuracy, and then +1s for vertical. I knew it wasn't going to be too high for vertical, and I knew I did not care. But it's honestly shocking to me that there is low cap breaker potential for interior defense and not as great cap breaker potential for strength as well, considering that strength is usually very, very important. And so we sacrificed our strength, not only because of the character, but also for the sake of getting everything else. But man, that's kind of shocking to me that they gave me so low on cap breaker potential everywhere. I thought, maybe at least give me like a little bit of steal, like at least like +2s or, something like that for steal. Same thing with like interior. Give me some like +2s at least for interior. I was not expecting anything for perimeter or anything like that, obviously. So I'm not really shocked about the perimeter, but I'm shocked about the interior and the steal and, you know, also our strength not getting a lot of cap breaker potential. I mean, it just feels weird not getting a good cap breaker potential for those, considering that those stats are really low for our position as well. So for our height in position, yeah, it makes no sense for interior to be, you know, +1s and strength also being like a +2 and +1s. It's kind of weird to me. But let me know what you guys think of this build in the comment section down below. Like I said, though, you're going to have like a lot of great cap breaker potential here for your finishing. You have a lot of cap breaker potential for playmaking if you wanted to. You have some good cap breaker potential for rebounding as well, with some +2s here across the board, being able to get you to a total of an 85 if you used all 5 caps here. So that's, you know, something that you can easily take a look at. And if you really wanted to, obviously you could, you know, get some cap breakers for your strength still, to get some other things if needed. Really good cap breakers, though, for some of the stuff as I have predicted. But, you know, I'm just shocked for the strength and the defense specifically. Like, those are the two things that would have had some pretty decent cap breaker potential. But instead, the mid-range has a better cap breaker potential than the defense, which is kind of weird. But anyway, that's it for me. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.